What's shakin'? Hey, I'm Rick Jordan. Today, we're going all in. It's time to give yourself some compassion. That's what today is all about. And thinking about where you were 5 years ago compared to right now. And this is something I have to even work with my team internally on some occasions when they're like, because you get so focused in on what you're working on right now. It's hard, and even for me, sometimes it's hard to actually recognize how far you've come. It can be tough that way because when you're so tunnel visioned on what you're doing right now and the grind, if you want to call it that it's difficult to think about everything that led up to that point. Because I want to encourage you today to have compassion for yourself, because remember, 5 years ago, you were dreaming about where you are right now. And for most of you that I'm talking to, this is actually the case because you've made progress, you've grown, you've learned new things, you've taken those learnings, applied them, took action, and now you've created something in your life as a result of those 5 years because of that thought, because of that dream. I did an episode on the dreamer can never stop dreaming, otherwise the dream's dead, right? I did that a little while ago, but that dream you took action on. And 5 years ago, that's all that it was. And today you're actually living in it. It was like towards the last episode of The Office, I remember, if you've ever watched that it was the character of Andy who said, I wish that when you're living in the golden years, or you're living in the good days, that you actually knew that you were in them, right? Because you can look back and say, oh my gosh, those were the good years, right? Or those were the golden years of this, I was at the pinnacle, at the peak, but it rarely ever feels like that when you're actually in it. It's only like hindsight that you're looking back. And I'm trying to do this in my life is to become aware, raise my level of awareness of what's going on around me. And the only way to do that is to take little moments and sit back and reflect. This is something that you can do every Friday. This is something that you could do once a month if you want, is just review and sit back, nothing else going on, but just list all the things that were like, oh, wow, that was pretty awesome. Like the past month. And then you just start to look compared to where you were 5 years ago, because you could be living in your good days right now. But you can't tell that you're there because your head is just down the whole time. Your work is right there in front of you, and whatever is right there in front of you, you're taking a look and like, I'm going to get through this now. I got this to do. I got that to do. I got this to do. I got that to do. And then if you could only just for a moment pick your head up and take a look around. Be like, oh my gosh, I am literally living in my daydream from 5 years ago. Now, if you pick your head up and you look around like, oh, this is pretty crappy. You're like, remember when I used to think I could do that? Remember when I used to think I could do that? And you'd start looking at yourself in the mirror. It's like, what happened to you? I can tell you the singular reason why you are not living today, your daydream from 5 years ago, is because you never made a choice to take action. Your dream became a hope. Your hope became just a faint thought. And then your faint thought just became something that you had wished for. In order for you to live your daydream today, or your daydream from 5 years ago today, you would have had to take action. So today, if that's you, when you pick your head up and you don't like what you're seeing looking around, today's the day for you to start dreaming again. Today is the day to close your eyes and be like, you know what? If I can have any vision around me, don't look at it from this way, be like, hey, 5 years from now, I want to be there. Not that at all. If you can close your eyes and say, what do I want to, in order for me to smile right here, what would I see around me? What would be happening? Who's it happening with? And then after you have that, you can start to take action on that in order for 5 years from now to live in your daydream from today. But for most of you, All I'm saying to do today is to pick your head up and look around, because it is likely that whatever you dreamt of 5 years ago, you can see some of that in your life today. And that's what will encourage you, give you motivation and inspiration, a push to continue to press on until that daydream is everywhere your head turns. I'm excited for you, because today is the day you lift your head up and you look around and you open your eyes and recognize how far you've come. And it will show you, because it is the proof of how far you will go. Go all in.